We get it. Goblins suck. This anime keeps reminding us that goblins suck. Remember when this banger came out back in the day? It came out amidst the trend of anime having an extremely controversial first episode. This first episode is then followed up with average run-of-the-mill anime. I'm usually fine with this because I love the average run-of-the-mill fantasy anime stuff. That's literally what I'm here for, and I would have watched it even without that headline-making first episode. With that in mind, I tuned in for season 2 so that yet again they can tell me that goblins suck. Hey everyone, welcome to Aniprop, let's get into it. While I'm a fan of Goblin Slayer, it does give the impression that the ambitions of the adaptation far outstrip the animation ability and budget of the studio involved. The fact that I can see these limitations clearly is a credit to the attempted atmosphere and characterizations. The Goblin Slayer is well characterized through strong personality and equally strong mystery. He is just like the version of Halo's Master Chief that I had growing up. Not this new emotionally in touch one that walks around with his naked face all the time. I'm talking about 2001 Get to the Pelican kind of Master Chief. Goblin Slayer is even more Master Chief than that Master Chief. This guy doesn't even take off his helmet to eat. He is always ready for action. The nature of the character alone lets us know how dangerous the goblins are because he has clearly been traumatized to the degree that he never takes off his armor, sleeps with his sword at the ready, inspects his home perimeter daily, and takes every quest possible just to kill goblins. His meticulous and serious character is the strongest indicator of the dangers the goblins carry. The second way the danger of the goblins are highlighted is not as good because of the limitations I highlighted earlier. The atmosphere of the anime in the dungeons I can see are meant to channel an air of horror. It kind of fails to do so because of the limitations of the animation. Here is a prime example. In episode 2, this character storms forward into the goblin trap, leaving his whole party behind and endangering himself. This is meant to be extremely scary. He encounters a woman being tortured in the pitch black. His clothes become stained with blood. He can't see. The goblins begin to grow in number, and even a troll comes out. I would be pissing my pants if I had read that sequence in a novel. But the animation here, even though decent, doesn't allow one to be scared as the style lacks detail. It's actually kind of funny instead. Studio White Fox was not perfect in the first season and the subsequent film, but Leiden films were unable to carry a similar atmosphere. Other than the lack of animation ability, I do think the show could have been more ambitious with the goblins. Each goblin group has some kind of leader, which is the smartest and craftiest goblin. The anime effectively conveys the idea that these goblins can communicate and display a high level of intelligence, somewhere below the average human. So, basically a 4th grader. The anime could have capitalized on that and shown us more details from the perspective of the goblin. Show us what they are saying, for example, or have more complex traps. Despite my disappointment with that element of storytelling, the goblin slaying missions were the best part of this anime. It is exhilarating to see how Goblin Slayer organizes his party to handle the large hordes of goblins in each mission. It's like watching a battle in Fire Emblem. It's pretty fun, involving some strategy and heavy use of tools and environment over spells and skills. Overall, Goblin Slayer isn't a high quality production and suffers from a lot of the problems of generic fantasy anime, but it's good enough to enjoy. And even though the animation isn't great, the character design and voice acting for the actual Goblin Slayer is top tier. So yes, this one isn't a must watch, but there's some fun to be had if you decide to watch. Thanks for checking out Aniprop. See you next video.